Hello there, Hedge here. Each and every week there is an opportunity to make an investment, whether it's a purchase from the Rust store or a buy order on a skin that's recently become marketable. That skin you've invested in might go up in price over the course of the next few Rust store rotations, but do you ever notice why? You may recall me explaining about the development of the bombing collection in my previous video and how each week more was being added to it, showing how a skin that's likely going to be in a full collection ends up potentially becoming a great profit. I mean, well, that road sign kilt wasn't so much, but those hoodie and pants are still doing great today, huh? So, is there a way to identify which skins might become a great profit and which ones might become a great big problem?
Brought to you by Hedge. For all you investors out there, it's time for another Rust Economy 101 video.
Workshop speculation and skin collection anticipation. One thing I've personally observed in Rust is that players enjoy a complete collection. Notably though, I've mostly seen this with armour and clothing, with people becoming more and more invested as the collection progresses. A lot of you may have noticed that skins usually come out in groups, most notably the clothing group that consists of hoodie and pants, the tier 2 armour that consists of the coffee can helmet, the vest and the road sign kilt or pants, and lastly tier 3 that consists of high quality face mask and chest plate. These three groups are what I call core pieces, the ones that I see spike in price routinely with the reactionary nature of the Rust economy. So to properly showcase how this develops, throughout the course of this video I am going to focus on a skin collection, the copper collection. We will see how the speculation starts with the workshop and leaves us waiting in anticipation for more. The beginning of a new collection. So insane. Now the player counts went incredibly insane during this period of time because that's when the offline TV thing happened. We will treat that as an anomaly. We don't want to worry about that too much. Someone said, oh, it happened. Rust store rotation just happened. Oopsie, I was so invested in talking that I forgot that the Rust store rotation. Sorry about that. So here we are, at the very beginning, with the Rust store rotation happening just as I'm in the middle of a ramble. Quite a surprise to see 5 armour and clothing skins in a single week, but one half of it was the popular Dragon Rage set, and the other, well, that was the very beginning of the copper set. Now with my experience, I was starting to consider whether we'd potentially see more of this new set, but upon looking into the creator's workshop, it seems Mr. Duck, the creator, had only just got started with it. But that doesn't mean that there wouldn't possibly be more in the future though. The speculation begins. So after a reasonable amount of time, the copper set actually got a new piece of its collection, the gloves. Unfortunately, these wouldn't be causing any price spikes for the tier 2 armour that currently existed. So, I was always keeping an eye on the workshop, waiting for another core piece to appear. Alright, so, only last night, or I guess you could say today, I've noticed something with the workshop. You see our ever so lovely copper set that we've had come out quite recently? Well, there was a hope that we would see some more stuff being added to it. And lo and behold, ta-da! Oh, isn't it magnificent? We've now got hoodie and pants. Mr. Duck has come through and he's now made copper pants and copper hoodie. So we know the rules with this, don't we? All the pre-existing skins of the armour pieces will now rise in price when these appear on the Steam market. However, for now, just the anticipation, because they're in the workshop, just the anticipation, the appearance of them there, should cause these to start rising in price. It seems the copper kilt has started to pick up quite a lot recently, as you can see right here. There is a lot of them on the market, but I do believe, and you can see it, yep, you can see it right there. It started to pick up ever since these two were brought onto the workshop. So these appeared for me at 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh. But with their appearance, as you can see here, as it struck midnight, people noticed and people started to buy out the kilts. So, it begins. So right now it's only, what, 8 o'clock on a Monday? Hopefully, this Thursday, our copper collection becomes a whole lot more complete. And we now have a full potential set coming to us. And this is the usual. When pre-existing skins are already out for a set, but it's still expecting more, aka this is a perfect example, the copper set. So we started off with the tier 2 armour. That's totally fine. This could work with either starting with the hoodie and the pants, the tier 2 armour, or the high quality face mask and chest plate. The routine is, if either one of those portions start, because remember these come out in portions, they don't come out separately. I mean, sometimes you could get the kilt by itself and whatnot, but let's just kind of stick with this. So basically, tier 2 armour came out first. It sold alright, it wasn't doing amazing, but then we also had the gloves. Gloves isn't going to change the world with a full set. What we need in this instance is we needed copper hoodie and pants or high quality metal. Well, we've got copper hoodie and pants right here, right now. And it's already started to cause the price of the roadside pants to go up in price. People have noticed, people are starting to jump in and buy them out. It doesn't matter if there's 200 or so on the market, people are now invested in potentially getting a new set, a whole complete set. And investors, right? Investors will notice anticipation and they too will jump in as well. So what right now, 228 of these on the market. If we do see copper hoodie and pants being added to the next Rust store, this will just vanish. This is the usual routine with full complete sets that get added every now and then. Happened with the likes of Tempered. The very second we started seeing a tier 2 armour being added to that, all of the hoodie and pants just shot up in price. Or was it vice versa? I can't remember. It's been a long time. That was December 2021, so it's been about half a year now. But yeah. This is what happens, and then when it comes out, people react and they all start buying out what they can. So, just to give you a heads up, the coffee can and the coffee can and the vest are most likely not going to rise up in price compared to the kilt. The kilt is more valuable because this is the only leg armour we have. When we get high quality chest plate and face mask, of course you compare that with this. So there's no improved version of the leg armour, therefore the kilt is usually the piece of armour that always spikes in price the most, and it's already the one that's gaining traction the fastest already now. So keep an eye out. It's very likely that this is going to shoot up in price the very second we see this appearing in a Rust store near you. All we've got to do now is just wait. Now we play the waiting game. So let me just reiterate that the pre-existing skins that will rise up in price the most when a core piece of the collection appears is, well, other core pieces. In this particular instance, we've started with the tier 2 and have now seen the clothing group being added to the Rust workshop. This is where anticipation sets in. People start buying out the tier 2 stocks of what exists in hopes that if the copper hoodie and pants appears in a new Rust store rotation, then everybody will react and start buying out all of the tier 2 armour, causing a sudden price increase. The reactionary nature of the Rust economy. So now it's May 26. I'm doing my weekly stream to the Rust store rotation, and I'm feeling confident we'll be seeing some copper hoodie and pants appearing. Let's go over the potential collections that we might see more of today. We still feel like Renegade could get its tier 2 armour being added. Maybe the boots, the gloves, you never know, but that could still happen. We do have the copper on the horizon. Copper hoodie and pants. That will definitely cause all of these pre-existing skins to jump up in price. I've seen it happen many times before. It's very likely going to happen again. Yes, these have over 100 quantity on each of them. Yes, that is true. Watch what happens when the hoodie and pants get added. It will vanish. Quantity down, prices up. Spikes. It's all a case of when will the Rust store rotate? So unfortunately, the Rust store rotation never really happens at a definitive time. The waiting is usually very long and very painful.
Much later.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, show me, show me, show me. Alright, I think we were too quick. Copper hoodie and pants! Copper hoodie and pants! Yes! Graffiti metal storage, that's in. Black gold semi-automatic pistol, that's in. Zebra MP5, porcelain furnace, fireflies metal door, tempered double barrel shotgun. Oh, it's happened. It's happened. It's happened. It's here. It's there. It's here. Alright, go buy out. Buy out. Buy out. Buy orders. Buy orders. Buy orders. Alright, let's get in. Let's get in. What the what are the buy orders? Doodly doo doodly doo. Right, we've just had the restore rotation. It's just about, well, it's just actually about to properly happen. 9 o'clock. We just had our predictions as well, so we're going to sort that out. There you go. So I just quickly did a quick buy order on these. There's 209 at the moment. Cheapest one is $2.45, and we know, thanks to the restore rotation bot, SCM bot, it has showed us that copper hoodie and pants has actually gotten through. Okay, that's good. So now, as you saw earlier, we're going to see a big difference over the course of the next hour with the quantities and the price here. But first, let's do our buy orders when they appear. Okay. Wait, hold on. Some of that footage is kind of familiar. Well, jokes aside, yes, this footage was also used in my dumping and oversaturation video, and if you recall, the price of the copper kilt didn't rise in price as much as we anticipated due to the high amounts of sudden dumping. That of course affects the focus of this video too, as we were expecting price increases when the restore rotated with new collection skins. One thing you might have noticed though was that I quickly jumped onto the copper kilt page on the Steam market and immediately did a higher buy order. The reason why I did this was because I expected a lot of interest to be put onto the copper collection after this, and the copper kilt was the most valuable piece. Why? Well, based on the fact that road sign kilt is the only leg armour in Rust, whereas the body and the head have two options of armour with the tier 2 and the tier 3. So yes, unfortunately, dumping may have affected a price spike with the copper tier 2 armour, but I wasn't phased. We still have copper tier 3 potentially. Now it was the time to anticipate for even more. Anticipation for tier 3 armour. So, interesting development. Last night, so it's the 31st of May at the moment. Last night, something appeared. There we go. So, finally happened. Quite late in the night, mind you, Mr. Duck. But, doesn't matter, it's here. We have the tier 3 armour in the workshop. And it appeared just in time for selection. So there's no need to worry. Everything should be fine now, hopefully, in theory. But basically, now it looks all but certain that we should be getting tier 3 armour for the next restore rotation in 2 days' time. Like I said, it is Tuesday at the moment, it's the 31st, the restore rotation is on June 2nd, and with that, it will also be patch day. They're going to do the recall update and everything. That would likely mean an earlier time for restore rotation, fingers crossed, so that means we'd have to be ready a bit earlier. So that's all good. I mean, we've been speculating, preparing, and we can just prepare ourselves a little bit more, so that's no problem. But there is problems over here. You may have noticed the amount of copper hoodie and pants that I've sold. Copper hoodie has gone over 28,000. Pants just under 27,000. That's a bit of a worry, isn't it? I did say if it goes around 30,000 sales, I would sit here and say that's oversaturation. But if we do get the tier 3 armour being added straight away, as in the week right after this one, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if if the hype generated by the full set now being available will cause the hoodie and pants to just go up in price regardless. It seems to be a case now, everybody seems to be hyped up for it. Better yet, what did I say? The very second people notice that there's new stuff being added to Workshop, they start to buy out the important parts. So, as you can see, what's the quantity now? 109. Yesterday we were looking at about 220, weren't we? Price is steadily going up as well. So are the notable person who had a very high quantity, he's removed his, and now the copper kilt is starting to flourish. People are aware that we're getting the tier 3 armour potentially on the horizon, and there has been a buyout. Not massive amounts, but just because that guy removed his big wall, his big quantity stack, this is going to be very easy to go up in price now. Once the tier 3 armour hits the rust store, all that will disappear. All of that quantity will disappear. Fingers crossed nobody jumps in and just chucks loads of quantity on the market immediately. So now we're down to 109, and when you look at all of the copper set, as we can see, everything is still doing very nicely, but the copper kilt is now up by 71%. So this has increased in a single day. These two are probably going to start decreasing in value, because with the tier 3 armour making these two obsolete, well, you know. But it doesn't mean that these are completely useless. Not everybody can afford with the resources in game to make tier 3 armour. So this will always have its place. It will always be somewhat necessary. It's cheaper to make in game, therefore people would still potentially want to use it. But the tier 3 armour, I mean, if you're in a big clan, you're in a big group, it's not going to be too hard to get all the high quality metal to make all of that. So, you know, different mindsets for different amounts of groups, different group sizes and whatnot. But yeah, with the amount sold with these two, it's starting to look like a problem, because this only had about 26,000 sales, but both of these have gone higher than that. And this one's very likely going to be going over 30,000. This might. But we'll see how it goes. We shall see how it goes. All we can do now is wait for the next part. Rust door rotation, and a tier 3 appears in a rust door. And this should spike up in price. That is what we are expecting to happen. We've seen this all play out. We've speculated. We've waited for things to happen. It's happened once with the hoodie and the pants. Now we've got to wait for that last group to appear. The last important group, the tier 3. So, now we wait. Let me just pause here because I have to be clear. I, back at this time, was very optimistic about tier 3 appearing for literally the next rust door rotation. But this is a rare thing to happen. You shouldn't just instantly assume a skin collection will appear with new pieces in consecutive weeks. However, there would be one notable exception to that, and that would be the large box collections that tend to come out every now and then, such as the neon, scientific and graffiti storage sets. So now, all I had to do was wait for June 2nd. I didn't want to interrupt your enjoyable music time. Alright, so copper kilt's looking pretty good at the moment, up to $4.60. I'll look at all this space. So we got 1, 2, 5, 16. If 20 kilts sold, it will be up to $5.50. If another 10 sold, you're probably looking at the kilt selling for $6. And if 30 sold, 40 sold, you would probably be up to around $7. So, it's looking to be a very enjoyable time. There is over 1,000 requests for it at the moment. The state of these, the quantities, you know what, let's just refresh right now. So, it's what, 15 minutes until 6 o'clock. Refresh. And yeah, kilt's gone down in quantity. The roadside gloves have gone down in quantity. Copper helmet and vest, they're okay. They're not doing great. They're not doing amazing, but that's because tier 2 armor always usually gets replaced with tier 3 armor. It's not useless, it's just not going to get loved as much. The very second we see copper face mask and chest plate being added, they're going to be loved a whole lot more. But here's something that we need to address. the amount of sales for copper hoodie and pants. They are both over 30,000. This is not looking very good, is it? So let me just point this out to you. For the first 24 hours that these two were available to be sold in the Rust store, aka right here, well, 14,000 each sold. So the very second the Rust store rotates today, there's going to be 14,000 each of these being able to be sold instantly. Like that. So, are we going to see some dumping? Are we going to see some oversaturation? Well, when we compare the total amount of sales for the likes of the all of the existing skins that we have for Copper set, well, when you look at the likes of the Copper helmet, it only had 22,306 sales. In theory, for a complete proper set, there will only be up to 22,306 complete sets out there in the wild. Now you might also say, well, what about the gloves? Well, the gloves aren't super necessary, but, you know, it does, for a proper complete set, then yes, there would only be 12,859 complete sets. But more importantly, we care more about the kilt sales, because the kilt is the most important part out of the Tier 2 armour. There was only 25,974 sales. Now that doesn't really sound like a small number, does it? Why am I describing it that way? Well, because of the numbers we see here. See, in theory, the very best kit that you're going to have is kilt, Tier 3 armour, and hoodie and pants. Correct? That's your main bulk with the 3 main groups. But there's just under 26,000 sold here, and now we're seeing almost 33,000 sales here and over 31,000 sales here. That's not looking equal, is it? It's not looking similar in total sales, and this is where we can see a very reasonable answer to say yes, these two look oversaturated. Too many excess purchases. With too many excess purchases means there's been too many people that have bought them purely with the intent to sell them. What does that mean? Too many are going to appear in the market. Let me rephrase that, sorry. Too many are going to appear in the market. I would not be surprised if these get dumped onto the Steam market. Now, the price, the value of these hoodie and pants, what's going to happen? Well, there's two answers. If copper is super hyped up, doesn't matter, they will still go up in price. Maybe not as high as like the kilt and the Tier 2 armour, that's understandable, because there's going to be more of these two, but it likely could still go above its restore price and beyond, you know. It depends how popular copper as a whole set gets used, and chances are, for role players, they're going to love this. To dress up as the police and raid you, oh mate, they're going to love that. Especially on actual like role player servers. So cops and robbers and all that. You get the idea. Tier 3 armour is very likely going to be appearing today in the next Rust rotation. I'm not guaranteeing it. Facepunch might just turn around and say, no, we don't want to do it. But we've had copper pretty much on the trot over the course of like 3 to 4 weeks. There was a gap in between, but now it went from gloves and immediately we had hoodie and pants. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get the Tier 3 armour today. Now, if you're going to sit there and say, should I buy some pants and hoodies right now? I would sit here and say, no, it's too many bought. Too many bought. Why not just do a very strong buy order? You know, these are 99 cents. Why not do like an 80-cent buy order or a 90-cent buy order? At least you're buying them for cheaper then. We'll see what happens, because a lot of people are going to turn around and say, well, how come the road sign gloves jumped up in price so much? Well, in regards to that, let's go see how many are on the market first. And let me explain. The fact that these two appeared literally the week after, the rotation after the week this came out, when it was a great benefit to the gloves. Why? Because not so many people bought the gloves when they were in that week's restore rotation. As you can see, there's only 13,000 sales. So the very second these two appeared, everybody got hyped up with the copper set, and they were buying out all the stock, and of course the gloves. Now, because not so many of these were bought, and not tons of them were bought on the first day, led to the road sign gloves becoming very valuable very, very quickly. As you can see, they shot up at one point to about $7–8, and then they kind of slowly went down. Now, why is this? Why is there hardly any of them in the market and whatnot? Well, that's because there's a 7-day cooldown on these. It's not like people could just quickly grab one and put them on the market immediately. No, because these two appeared right after this one was in the Rust store. So many of these had a 7-day cooldown. People could not sell them immediately. They could not jump into the hype. But those who bought in early and could sell these early, well, they made some very good profits. And it's been a blessing in disguise, that 7-day cooldown, because it's kept the quantity being put on the market at a low amount, therefore keeping its high price up. Make sense? But we're not going to see this happen with hoodie and pants, because so much more were bought. So it's not going to happen in regards to these. There still will be a hype, I'm sure. I'm very confident we're still going to see a hype for them. But yeah, understanding all of that information, it's probably better to just do a buy order in these two now. It's far too many bought. I'm very sure these are oversaturated now. The numbers don't compare. There's too many of these compared to these. Now, independently, a hoodie and pants can still be alright for themselves if they're a very interesting design. These being a yellow and black design, I am not 100% sure people are going to be super keen on it. I feel like people are going to be more demanding for a full set. I could be wrong. It's literally a case of we need to find out as time goes on. But I'm sure I've kind of got it in your heads now. We're probably going to see these two probably being affected by the amount of each of them that were bought. So yeah. So fingers crossed. Tier 3 armour. We see it today. It's just a case of, can you please appear? Can the Rust store happen earlier? I don't want to stay here forever. So as you just saw, a byproduct of the collection suddenly getting popular can lead to later parts of the core pieces in the collection being bought way more than the pre-existing. Where have we seen that before? But this wasn't really a surprise to me, because like I had said, there were over 14,000 sales after the first 24 hours of the copper hoodie and pants being available in the Rust store. I had been keeping track of this over the course of the week, and I had become more and more aware that this was just going to be the inevitable. So now, let's skip a few hours ahead to the Rust store rotation and see what happened. It's happening when? There's no copper. You're joking. No. How's it still not appearing? When you said no copper, I'm not seeing it. So basically what happened was the bot that usually alerts me when the Rust store rotates wasn't working. So I was a bit confused in a moment, but we will now see what had rotated. Right, so we had this Rust store. Doesn't have tier 3 armour for copper. That's unfortunate. And people have obviously started to react. It looks like copper hoodie and pants are getting a lot of attention at the moment. If we just quickly go see this. Yep. Lowest one is currently $1.80. Buy orders are going up to 95 cents. Go over to here, the pants. Cheapest one is $1.84. There's a buy order all the way up to $1.43. The worry is, will this last? Will this hold? I am not 100% sure, but we need to wait and see. But we have noticed that people are kind of starting to put some stock onto the market for the kilt. What I'm led to believe is with this week's Rust store rotation, because it's the recall up to date, I'm assuming Face Punch wanted to promote that. Do you see how we have many weapon skins? You can see that, right? M249, custom SMG, semi-automatic pistol, semi-automatic rifle. These don't usually get many skins, do they? It's a bit odd that all 4 of them have been included. What I'm led to believe is Face Punch wanted to promote these skins this week because of the recall update. As a, hey, We updated all the recalls of all these weapons. Maybe you want to use them a whole lot more now. Which would, you know, it's kind of insinuating that these are very likely going to have increased gun demand, and, well, they're supplying you with more skins, because it's very likely with more gun demand, then the price of the skins will go up as well with them. So, I'm not too surprised. Now you're going to sit there and say, but why is Berserker chestplate and face mask there? Well, I'm pretty sure Face Punch is very aware that that Tier 3 copper would very likely sell very, very nicely. And they don't want it to overshadow all of these skins. So, for this week, we've got Berserker in its place. It's nice to see, fair play. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get Tier 3 copper next week. So, let the weapons have their time this week, that's fine. Copper, very likely, will be next week. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these hoodie and pants last. Regardless, if they do go below their rush store price, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we've seen it with Renegade before. It might go down below, but the very second a new important piece for the complete set of an armour, for an important piece to complete the armour for a complete set comes out, aka the Tier 3 armour, which we're waiting for, these will bounce up in price. Hype is powerful. Hype will bring it back up. But unfortunately, we were hyped up and the kilt was starting to go higher and higher in price. And then, yes, it still is $4.60. Very nice. We need to hope people don't dump on it. I hope you are aware that just because it hasn't come out this week doesn't mean it won't come out next week. So, again, back to waiting. So unfortunately, this week didn't have copper Tier 3 armour. But I reckon I gave a reasonable answer in that Face Punch likely wanted to promote weapon skins for that recall update. As I previously mentioned, I was a bit too optimistic and I should have understood that most collections do not get new skins added in consecutive weeks. Back to waiting for me then. So surely it was going to be June 9, right? Right? This sucks. I'm sad. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. So unfortunately, it was another week without Tier 3 copper, and even though I was disappointed, I knew this wasn't the end. But things were starting to look pretty bleak for the already marketable core skins. Copper kilt's probably going to go down in price. Hoodie and pants are definitely going to go down in price. You thought it was bad now, you just wait. You just wait how bad it's going to become. There's dumping, there's far too much quantity, it was oversaturated, the buy orders are starting to go down, the price will go down now. Especially with the pants are going to be doomed. It managed to survive a week, but with all of this here, oh no. That is looking extra bad. That is looking extra bad. This is going to probably start crashing in price now. We needed Tier 3 copper to appear. We needed high quality metal, but it didn't appear. This is looking bad. However, even then, even if this crashes real badly, right? If we do see Tier 3 copper appearing next week, doesn't matter, the hype for it will completely fix it and its price will go back up. But we're not going to get anywhere when this happens. This guy needs to remove his stock. And it's very, very, very likely we're going to see even more being put on sale now. Other people, they're impatient. They don't care. They're just going to dump their things now. They're going to try and get quick money and run away. Impatient, lesser knowledgeable people, they are going to cause problems now. So it's not too much of a surprise that people were coming to my Twitch streams and chatting about their worries. So the next day, I had to give them some reassurance, because I've seen trends and patterns with collections before. Yeah, I did low prices. I was expecting something awkward to happen. Lo and behold, it's happening. Yeah, but I do expect the Tier 3 to come still. I do expect profits to be made. I will succeed. But it's been a bit awkward now, but this was expected. The The less experienced people that are investing don't know what to do. They're panicking, they're dumping their things and move on to the next thing. Those are the people who don't make great profits. Those are the people that will suffer. We don't suffer. We are strong. We are vigilant. We shall remain. But berserker face mask and chest plate. Now, let me just tell you, don't be sad. Don't be sad that we didn't immediately get hoodie and pants right after it, or the week after. You should never ever fully expect that you're going to get a new piece of armour or clothing immediately 1 week after a previous thing came out. Only if it's doing insane numbers. Dragon Rage, for instance, was doing insane numbers. So Face Punch was inclined to keep adding its armour pieces and clothing week after week after week. But even then it wasn't week after week after week. You can go back in time and see it for yourself. When did hoodie and pants come out? When did the hoodie and pants come out? Dragon Rage hoodie and pants came out 31st? No, it came out March 17. So March 17, the hoodie and the pants came out. The armor didn't come out the week after. No, it came out 2 weeks after. And then this is tier 3 armor. And then the tier 2 armor didn't appear for another 2 weeks as well. No, I was wrong. 3 weeks. Dragon Rage was very spaced out. So don't feel too worried that we've missed 2 weeks of no copper tier 3. This is a usual thing. Wait it out. Be patient. Don't be impatient. Please do not be impatient. Do not dump everything. Do not panic and dump your whole stock on the market. Wait it out. We will get it eventually. The copper sales were reasonable. Not similar to Dragon Rage, but you know, you get the idea what I'm saying. Don't expect a collection to just immediately get new things right week after week after week. This is the usual pattern. You'd have at least a week or two in between where you don't get anything from it. So yeah, keep that in mind. No panic. Things will be good in the future. Just got to be patient. Patience is wonderful. Tier 3 copper armor appears? So it's another Thursday, another rotation, and another chance to potentially see the release of copper tier 3. Hopefully there wasn't going to be any disappointment today. Whatever comes out, I'm going to react to. This is usually how the Rust economy is. Something important comes out, we all react. That's why I have all these links nice and prepared. You're going to see, if we saw tier 3 copper come out, you'd see the vast majority of this. The quantity would go down and the prices would go up. We'd have a full set of copper finally available to us. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yeah. The mouse is causing me to melt from the copper. Right. Alright, it's happened. Gun storage. Berserker hoodie. Berserker pants. Right. Calm. Target. Road sign. Kill. Target. Okay. Good things. Go. Extra buy order. What would I do? Come on. Okay, what else is there? What account do I have my what accounts do I have my stuff on? Okay, oh yeah, we gotta do the ta-da, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, they haven't appeared just yet. Right, so the quantity's gone. Oh, look at the kilt, look at the kilt. Oh, it's gonna vanish. 205, £2.50, $2.50. We just had the Rust door rotation happen. I've got to do the prediction in a minute. Yeah. I was clearly very relieved to have finally recorded the progression of a skin collection, after previously attempting this with the Frosty and the toy collections. But now that we've reached the end of this anticipation, what happens now with the future of the Tier 3 armour, the final core piece for the collection? Right guys, do you have any questions? Defil, do I think these have potential? I wouldn't buy them. I'd wait it out until Wednesday and Thursday. These are the last important things to come out. There's nothing that's going to cause them to spike in price. From here on now, what happens with the copper set depends on the demand with people who play the game, right? But now we have a full set of copper. Now people can roleplay as policemen. People can raid your base as policemen. FBI, open up, stop resisting. Stupid things like that. That's what can happen now, right? It's now in the hands of people who play the game. Is there genuine demand? Well, at the moment, with this only existing for about 20 to 30 minutes, the sale amount, they are currently the second and third most bought things. It's only been 20-30 minutes. So, we need to see what this is like over 24 hours. That would give us a good idea for the impact. Like, the people now see it, people now want it. So yes, this is a problem that affects the end of every collection. Will there be genuine demand, or will the player base just stick with other sets? Maybe some players like the idea of role-playing as the police, or simply being dressed in full yellow. Or maybe some streamers might use them and their fans might decide to copy them. Let's also not rule out the possibility of a YouTube video being made, showcasing the set in game and enticing viewers to jump in and use it too. But that type of influence is something I'll have to talk about another time. So now we reach the end of the video. I hope you understand how the progression of sets usually plays out, because it's the key profit investment every month due to that reactionary nature in the Rust economy. To speculate collection progressing and anticipating the next core pieces to eventually appear, with the pre-existing parts spiking in price as it happens. But sometimes collections take a long time to progress, based on the speed of the skin creators or face punchers' decisions, so patience is definitely required. Hopefully this video represents that enough and motivates you to start looking into the Rust workshop a lot more and start speculating. Also, I'm sorry if I didn't talk enough about how influence can affect the price of a skin, but for that, I feel like it deserves to be its own video. So with that, best of luck and have fun trading. But what price are they right now in pounds? I mean, they're up 50% or higher. Oh god, but there's a muff. Ah! They went in my eye! Ah!
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Is that in my eye? Oh.